Hey guys, this is Sigma from Wandering Epsilon, and today I'm a Reinhardt Main, doing a Reinhardt complete guide. So, enjoy the video. Hey guys, today in this Overwatch 101, we're going to be talking about everything you need to know to be a Reinhardt main, or just to master Reinhardt, aka the Reinhardt Complete Guide. Usually when people say they make a Reinhardt Complete Guide, or a Genji Complete Guide, or a Bastion Complete Guide, they don't ever talk about everything. But since I'm a Reinhardt main, I feel inclined to talk about every last detail I can. And so, I'm going to do just that. Talk about everything there is to know about Reinhardt. Everything you need to do to be a Reinhardt main. Anything you find that I left out, either A, I didn't know about, therefore you are probably a better Reinhardt main than me, or B, it just wasn't that useful. I don't find it that useful. In fact, it hurts me more than it helps, and that's pretty much everything I left out. So please tell me in the comments what I left out, so I can either A, make a follow-up video, or B, tell you in the comments why I don't think it's good to use Reinhardt in that way. Like for instance, cliff charging. I personally don't think that's a good way to use Reinhardt. And just blocking the whole time, that's also not a really good way to use Reinhardt. It's like a waste, because you move super slow. You do defend your team, but half the time your team's not even behind your shield. And the other half the time, if you're not aggressive enough, Reinhardt's pretty much the one who breaks through any choke points and stuff. And not because he has a big shield, it's because he can charge in there, get in the back lines, and swing everybody to death with this giant hammer. Stay tuned to the end of this video to see me use all of these methods in a montage of me just playing Reinhardt. I could talk for hours and hours of just how... Okay, let's start over. One quick little detail, Reinhardt is only as good as his team lets him be. As in, his team has to be good backing him up, or he's not going to be good. Almost every other character in the game, they don't really need a good team. But Reinhardt, he's like the center of the... A team of flanks always abandons their tanks. It just goes like that because it rhymes. Without further ado, here is the Reinhardt Complete Guide. Complete guide. Just how to be the best Reinhardt you can be. His hammer has about... He has about one swing a second. His swings hit from 5 meters away at max. And they do about 85 damage a swing. 85 to 75. One of the two. Still, it takes about 3 hits to kill in pretty much any squishy. Other things you can do with the hammer is to spin around in the direction you're swinging to get more people hit and to kill people faster. Reinhardt has no melee attack, but that's only because his melee is his giant hammer. So if you press the melee button, it won't swing his hammer. You have to use your primary weapon to swing with the hammer. Next, let's go to his shield. His shield has 2,000 damage, and if you let it go down all the way, it takes about 5 seconds before it starts recharging. Whereas if you put it down right now, it takes about 2 seconds before recharging. Heals about 225 a second, and so that 5 seconds of... that 3 seconds of extra time is 665 essentially. 660. And yeah, it's no good. Something that irritates most players is they don't know. Well, something that irritates most Reinhardts is the fact that nobody stands behind their shield. Okay, so his fire strike moves about 26 meters a second. And its hitbox is as crazy as Hanzo's arrow. But it makes more sense because he physically is throwing something as big as a log at a person. But say you're aiming for like their shoulder, it's still gonna hit them. It does about 100 damage. So 2 of those and most characters in the game are dead. Most characters that aren't tanks. A good way of aiming this is to change your crosshair to the dot. That way, you'll know where to aim. You will also have to anticipate it like Farah's rocket, but you won't be flying in the sky, so it's not as hard. If you see a moving target, the further away they are, the more you have to anticipate.
This old dog still knows a few tricks.
It takes about 6 seconds for it to recharge, and
My power.
that is everything you need to know about it. So, a couple things that are cool about his charge is you move about 55 meters in total with the charge. That's the maximum distance you can travel. And you move about 16 meters a second. So you can get about anywhere in 3 seconds. Well, not anywhere. You can get from here, right here to these stairs to the other side of the map in about 3 seconds.
Do I have your attention?
Part of the reason that's so cool is for a special technique that we call cliff charging. You can either A, you can cliff charge suicide, which just goes like you charge at a guy and then you go off the edge with them. Or you can do another interesting charge. Well, it's still called the cliff charge, but in this scenario, you actually end up surviving. Well, you would survive if this pole right here wasn't in the way. That pole just messes everything up. I made a video about cliff charging earlier. You can learn everything you need to in that video. For now, let's just stick to a couple things. The bump radius, where you bump a character, you have to be this far away from a person. Any closer and then you get them in your charge. But when you pin something to the wall, it does about 300 damage. Charging, the delay for charging takes about 10 seconds. Or if you get stunned by like Roadhog or McCree, or you get frozen by May, then it takes about 3 seconds to recharge. And then you can just use it again to kill that McCree and or that Roadhog. So usually the best time to charge is right at the beginning here, when basically it's almost always good to charge at the beginning. So his ultimate is Earth Shatter. It's an AoE effect, and it's one of the best AoE effects. He pretty much shatters the earth, knocking any enemy in his path to the ground. The best scenario for this is when you have a whole line of people like this. Like, wait for it. That's good enough. Then when you have 2 people, you want to fire, strike immediately, kill anyone you can, and then charge as they're getting up. And that's the perfect way to use his ultimate. You don't want to charge as soon as you use his ultimate, because that'll just send everybody flying and your teammates can't do any damage to them then. Also, getting the high ground is useful for Fire Strike, but it's also very risky. It's okay to take risks as Reinhardt, but you pretty much leave your whole team if you go sneak around up on a ledge and then you strike down with like a hammer down.